Hi everyone! Hello! Hello! Just getting a few last things set up. So, alright, we should try this again. Hi everyone! Hi! Okay, well, I'm going to get started. Okay, I'm going to get started. Hopefully, you can watch this later. And I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Simone, and I am the founder, the creator of this website that you can see here, Yingling.es. And it's a website for people who want to practice their American accents or just to learn English in general. And today we are talking about how to have an American accent. So I'm going to start my presentation now. Just going to pull myself down on the screen so you can see. There we go. Okay, so today we're talking about what you need to know about linking that will make you have an amazing American accent. So, a little about me. I am Simone, and I am the English teacher and the creator of Yingling. I also help people with their accents. So, before we start our class today, I'd like to ask you to turn off your phone, close any other tabs, and get rid of any other distractions so that you can really get involved with what we're learning today. Okay, so today we are talking about how to get an American accent for free. So I have a free course that I'm offering. So just stick around until the end of the presentation and you can learn more about that. Okay. I'm not sure if the chat is working because we're having some technical difficulties, but I was just curious. Have you ever been afraid of using the phone in English? Has it ever been difficult for you to make a phone call in English? And do you want to speak clearly? I know I had one student a while back who would always say, people are saying, what? What did you say? I'm sorry, what was that? Constantly to her because of her accent. And one of the most difficult parts of learning English was her fear of saying things incorrectly. Does that sound like you? Have you ever had those problems? Well, maybe you want to be able to speak clearly, but you know it's coming out wrong. Now, I have this problem in Spanish a lot. I mean to say one thing, but it just doesn't come out the way that I want it to. And it ends up like so embarrassing. Like I want to say a word, but my mouth won't make the noises, no? And you probably just really want to communicate with native speakers. I am always happy to realize how much knowing two languages can really help you in your life. And so I'm always so glad to have that feeling of being able to communicate to more than one person at a time. All right, let's talk about what you're going to learn today. The first thing that you're going to learn today is something called linking. Now, linking is a peculiar sort of phenomenon. Those words were a little difficult. But it's something that native speakers do when they're speaking that will really change the way you understand native speakers and the way that you pronounce things. Then we're going to talk about emphasis or stress in words. So, emphasis is also extremely important for how you pronounce things. And then step 3, what we're going to learn today is how to start practicing your American accent and to start sounding like a native speaker today, if you want to. Before we dig in, which means before we start, I want to share with you my story about learning Spanish. So I had the same difficulties that you have with Spanish, and that is I didn't know how to pronounce anything. And it was very difficult for me to feel confident speaking in front of people. So, I was terrible at Spanish. I got to my host family's house in Chile, and it was a disaster. She was like, "Necesitas algo?" And I was like, "Algo, algo, algo. ¿Qué significa algo?" And that word, if you're not a Spanish speaker, means anything or something. Do you need anything or do you need something? So, imagine my embarrassment, do you need anything? It's such a basic word. And I really struggled speaking with people on the phone or in large groups of people. It was just like so nervous to really be myself and to make people understand what I was thinking, because I didn't know how to form the right words. So, number 1, we're going to learn how to pronounce words correctly. And there's your little US passport of pronouncing words correctly. We're going to learn how to speak in public. Yeah. We're going to learn how to speak on the phone in English. So imagine that feeling of being able to speak in front of people without feeling nervous, like, oh, they can't understand what I'm going to say. So, where do we start? Step 1 is to learn about linking. Linking I mentioned earlier in this presentation, but now we're going to get very into linking. So let's take a look. I love this little cat picture, by the way. It's so cute. Okay, why is English so hard to understand? Have you ever wondered this? English is so hard to understand because we do something called linking. Linking means to connect or to unite sounds together. So what on earth do I mean by that? Let's take a look. We connect words together. Let's look at an example. Most non-native speakers would say, "How are you?" But native speakers say something more like, "How are you?" We connect the sounds together, "How are you?" And they become almost like one sound, "How are you?" So when a native speaker is talking with you and they say, "How's it going?" How's it going? How's it going is how is it going? How are you? How have you been? But since we connect words together, it becomes like almost one word. How's it going? They're asking you how you are doing or how you've been. But that linking thing again is the part that really is so difficult. So native speakers speak in a vowel, consonant, vowel pattern. So instead of pronouncing every word, in a sentence, instead of saying, "How are you?" we connect it together. And we speak in a pattern of consonants and vowels. So let's take a look here. H is a consonant, so we've got this sound. And the O is a vowel, so ha, wa, you. We speak consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel. Ha, wa, you. How are you? Let's look at another example. How's it going? Consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel. How's it going? How's it going? Once we realize that linking happens, it helps us not only to understand native speakers, but also to speak more like a native speaker in your real life. Yeah? Okay, well, let's move on. Okay, let's practice. Here are some practice sentences, and I'm going to pronounce them, and then I'm going to leave a little space for you to pronounce the word right after me, okay? Let's give it a try. Hey, how are you doing? Hey, how are you doing? Hey, how are you doing? What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? Can you make it to the party? 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 Great! Are you hearing the linking when I say these sentences? How are you doing? Hey, how are you doing? What time is it? Can you make it to the party? Okay, so after you start to learn a little bit more about linking, you can learn how to use it in everyday conversation. Step 2 is emphasis. Now, what on earth is emphasis? Let's find out about that. Emphasis happens when words have 2 or more syllables. And a syllable is the smallest part of a word, the phonetic parts of a word. So, for example, syllable, syllable. Syllable has 3 syllables in it. Syllable. Okay? It's like the small part of the small phonetic part of the word. And when we emphasize or stress a syllable, we say it louder, longer, and higher. So what does that mean? Louder is this. Instead of talking quietly, you talk louder. Longer means instead of saying something like hi, you say hi, hi, hi. And higher means in pitch. So instead of saying hi, you say hi, hi, hi. So let's take a look at an example in case you're like, what on earth is she talking about? Okay. Let's hear the emphasis in these words. Let's look at the first one, Canada. Canada. Those are the 3 syllables. Oh, we have a little guest today with us helping pronounce things in English. This is Harry. Say hello, Harry. Canada. Canada. Now listen to how I pronounce it. Canada. Canada. Can you hear where the emphasis is? Is it on the ka, the na, or the da? Canada. If you said ka, you're correct. Canada. Canada. And a native American English speaker would never say Canada or Canada. It's always Canada. Okay, let's listen to this one. Welcome. Welcome. We have 2 syllables, well and come. Welcome. Can you hear where the stressed syllable is, the emphasized syllable? Welcome. Welcome. If you said well, you're correct. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And the emphasized is the thing. America. 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 If you said mare, you're correct. English. English. Can you hear it? Is it ing or lish? English. It's ing, correct. Great. And then record or record is the same word with 2 different emphases. And both of these words have different meanings based on how you emphasize the word. So in case you were thinking, oh, like, it's not that important, it is, because sometimes the word changes meaning based on the emphasis. The chat is not working so great, but if you'd like, you can tell me in the chat, have you ever heard of emphasis or linking? Is this completely new for you, or is this something you're already like an expert at? Okay, and then step 3 is how to start practicing and how you can start today. So, your homework for tonight is to start listening to native speakers and saying words and listening for the syllable that is emphasized. Make notes in your notebook and build what you might call an emphasis dictionary. So, how is every word pronounced that you hear? Okay, let's go back through. You learned how to understand linking. You learned why linking is important to be understood and to understand. And you saw that emphasis is important in spoken English. Now, you're here today because you want to speak with a native accent, but you don't know how. You want help to achieve your goal. You felt embarrassed before, and you're ready to start speaking like a native speaker. So now you can, and I'm willing to help you. Imagine making a joke in English and everyone laughs. Or speaking like a native and someone saying, "Oh, are you from England? Or are you from New York?" It's your time to pronounce correctly. And I can help you because I made a course. Yay! Now remember, nothing that I've gone over with you today is like theory or ideas. These are all things that my clients, my students, have done to get an American accent. So, if you're interested, check in the description below. We have a free course going on. It's totally free. All you have to do is sign up. And you'll learn more about linking, and you'll learn more about emphasis, and you'll learn about something called the IPA. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties.